XRP is one of the oldest, most established cryptocurrencies that not only touts one of the largest market caps in all of crypto, but also has one of the strongest teams in the entire industry, building true utility and infrastructure that's set to change the global adoption of digital finance, asset tokenization, and even in some situations, CBDCs. And now that the XRP token itself has regulatory clarity that it's not a security, it's not a question of if, but when the price will skyrocket. Now, I reckon this begins to happen through the end of 2024 and into early 2025 as institutions continue to pour into crypto and XRP. And in this video, I'll be sharing what we currently know about institutional adoption that is driving the crypto markets. And I'll also share how you can prepare and avoid a costly mistake that most XRP investors will likely make and will have them royally pissed off at themselves later on this year. We'll be covering the latest from Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, and his response to institutional demand. And we'll be covering some recent news on both Trump and Kamala that is bullish for the entire crypto industry, no matter who wins the election on November 5th, 2024. So if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the richest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptos, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk. By watching this video, you agree we are not responsible for any losses or damages, and we do not guarantee any specific results or outcomes. Some of the links below may be affiliate links, and we may earn a commission, which actually helps support this channel and helps us to create value-based videos like this. We also hold some positions in the cryptocurrencies that we talk about, but that's only because we do what we believe in. However, this should not be interpreted as a recommendation for you to do the same. With that said, let's get into the video. Hello and welcome back to the Bull Runners channel. My name is Paul. And in this video, we're going to be talking about XRP and specifically the institutional demand that is going to be driving crypto markets through the end of the year into 2025 and how that's likely going to push XRP up to a new all-time high. We've been talking about this a lot. And yes, we get haters. People get impatient. People get bored. People say it's never going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, it's one of the only cryptocurrencies that is around since 2012 and has held a very strong support and range that has real utility and adoption amongst institutions. And we're seeing it across the board, which we're going to prove in this video. So although there may be skepticism, as the title of this article says, at the end of the day, you have to accept the fact that institutions are truly embracing cryptocurrencies. And in the synopsis of this article, they basically state that this is all driven by regulatory clarity, robust security measures, which is extremely important, obviously, to TradFi and having some sort of a regulatory body that approves of it, and client demand. So think about that for a second. It's not just the fact that institutions want to access all these cryptos. It's the fact that all of their clients are basically begging them to, and they want a regulated way to do it. This shift enhances market liquidity and stability, integrating digital assets with traditional finance. Notable early investors and collaborations highlight the growing legitimacy and investment opportunities in the crypto market. This shift signifies a paradigm change in investment strategies and financial services, reflecting a broader recognition of the potential of digital assets to reshape the global economy. And speaking of reshaping the global economy, people are going to want access to digital assets in all forms and manners. One of those being futures. In the case of BlackRock, now they are in talk with global crypto exchanges to use their BUIDL token as a futures collateral. And it's not just crypto exchanges, it's also the NYSE and the Chicago Board of Mercantile Exchange, or the CBOE, which is one of the largest exchanges in the world. And the SEC just approved both of them for options trading on spot Bitcoin ETFs following the NASDAQ exchange approval. So now we have three of the major players, arguably the biggest players in worldwide markets, wanting to offer Bitcoin ETFs. And you would say, well, how does that matter for XRP? Well, if Bitcoin doesn't do it, believe me, XRP isn't going to have it. But if Bitcoin sees a growth and a demand amongst institutions, then it's likely institutions are going to feel more confident and comfortable messing around with crypto, and a lot of that liquidity and demand is going to also pour over into XRP, which is going to be the next major listing in my opinion. Now, what allows for something like XRP to be listed, because Bitcoin is really just viewed as a currency, whereas XRP at one point in time went through this whole legal battle and process with the SEC. But what makes XRP different than many is the fact that it was truly deemed in court as not a security. Here's the chief legal officer, even after the SEC's recent appeal to the fact that XRP is not a security, and that is not even being appealed. That decision stands as the law of the land. Now Ripple is going to file their Form C and appeal this next week. But it's actually kind of crazy how insane the demand is for crypto. In the case of Bitcoin being one of the first and largest ETFs seeing the most inflows, obviously it had to be, right? Now we're going to start to see more inflows into Ethereum probably through the end of the year, and then we're going to start to get some more spot ETFs. I believe it's going to be XRP and Solana up next. However, this is insane. Bitwise just put out this chart. In the very first year of a gold ETF, you can see there wasn't even, there's probably like $1 billion of inflows. Then over a period of time and up to year 6, it started seeing an increase in the trend of inflows into the gold ETF. Well, in year 1 for Bitcoin, we're already well above $20 billion of inflows. And I would argue the chart's going to look very similar to these black bars right here. Over time, you're just going to see this thing grow and grow and grow and surpass anything that gold ever did in terms of the inflows. Why? Because Bitcoin's just a better technology than gold. Ultimately, is it a store of value and basically a hedge against reckless government spending and inflation. So in many ways, right, it's truly finite. When you really think about it, you can always go find more gold somewhere in the ground that we don't know about, but we always know exactly how many Bitcoin there are going to be, right? I'm not going to give you this whole long drawn out Michael Saylor pitch, but at the end of the day, this is truly exciting for the entire crypto space. Again, this is going to legitimize the space and allow for other spot ETFs to enter the crypto market. And so still, we need a very crypto-friendly government, and arguably a head of the government or a president. Now, when it comes to Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris, we already know Donald Trump has been consistently more pro-crypto. He's gone to crypto conferences. He's talked about how he wants to use crypto to pay off the debt, yada, yada. You have a lot of people, even in the comments, that'll crap on and say he'll say whatever he can to get elected, but I truly do believe at this moment in time, he really doesn't care if it's crypto or the US dollar. Ultimately, he's down to pay off the debt, and ultimately he wants to create an environment that allows for innovation and brings back money into the US. So we're just going to cover really quickly Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, and their crypto regulatory standpoint, and then we're going to cover why I think it actually doesn't fully matter. I do believe that crypto is going to thrive better under Donald Trump, but that's just an opinion. However, we're going to share with you something about Kamala Harris here very shortly that I think is going to be positive for crypto as well. So when you look at Donald Trump, okay, he wants to make the US a leader in crypto. He also wants to elevate Bitcoin mining, so he's probably going to create some incentives around that. He's totally against a CBDC, and generally speaking, right, he's had NFT collections. He's launching a crypto and selling that OTC to accredited investors. Across the board, it seems that he's really on board with crypto, and he even said that he would let Ross Ulbricht get out of prison, which would be pretty freaking cool considering he was one of the earliest guys to really solidify Bitcoin using his website Silk Road. Yes, it was not a good website, but at the end of the day, a lot of people think he served his time and it's good to go. In the case of Kamala Harris, she really hasn't been that present, and generally speaking, the Democratic Party has been long viewed as an anti-crypto entity, and that definitely was the truth from 2020 to 2024. You even have people like Mark Mark Cuban crapping on the administration's pick in Gary Gensler. And Mark Cuban is super pro Kamala. So at the end of the day, virtually nobody likes how the Democratic Party has really handled crypto. They always said they were going to do something, even in 2022 with the collapse of Terra Luna and then FTX, and they never actually did anything. They never passed any bills, and they both had the president and the Senate. So they were in charge. They never did anything. And that's really where people are kind of like meh on Harris, considering she was already in the administration that made all of these promises. Now, that said, a lot of top crypto firms have been in contact with Harris and her advisors or anyone in her administration. That said, she hasn't really said that much. Generally speaking, anytime Trump talks, she's against that or completely takes the opposite stance because it's very popular among her cohort of voters. So if Donald Trump's very pro-crypto, she might kind of just chill on it. But at the end of the day, she knows that if she's very negative crypto, she's definitely going to lose a lot of votes, as the majority of Gen Z and millennials are investors in crypto. That said, I do believe even if on the slight chance that she does win, things are going to be looking good, as she's already looking for potential replacements for the SEC chair, Gary Gensler. So this is absolutely phenomenal. Even if she wins, again, my personal opinion doesn't matter. You don't have to like it. Doesn't really, affect you in any way, shape, or form. At the end of the day, I think crypto is going to be stronger under Trump. But even if Kamala Harris is president, I think this is very good news for the entire industry. I don't think anyone thinks Gary Gensler has done a good job over at the SEC. It is truly one of the most corrupt agencies right now. It is overregulated, and they continue to just create frivolous lawsuits and spend taxpayer dollars. So we're all fans of the fact that Gary Gensler is likely going to be out no matter who gets in office, and that's some really positive news. Now we're going to talk about the Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and how he expresses surprise about an XRP ETF timing and expects the product to attract capital into XRP. But then again, it's no secret when you think about institutional adoption, considering even JP Morgan has now confirmed that crypto is their preferred alternative asset class for a lot of their institutional investors who are looking for a bit more maybe risk, but also potential upside. And they stated that it's even replacing real estate as a preferred alternative asset class. That is absolutely phenomenal. But it's true, very recently, one of the major players in the space, Bitwise, applied with the SEC to launch an ETF for XRP. And then a few days later, on October 2nd, another S1 document was filed with the SEC from Canary Capital. Now, again, these guys would not be filing for an XRP spot ETF unless, of course, a lot of their institutional clients had demand for something like XRP, because if there was no demand, they would have no reason to offer it. You go through all of this painstaking work to potentially get approved by the SEC, which costs you time, money, resources, you name it. And at the end of the day, for what? If nobody wants it, I wouldn't go through the trouble. But if a lot of people want it, I want to be at the head of the pack leading the way for a spot ETF, so I get a lot of those inflows right out the gate. And here's confirmation that Bitwise filed for an XRP spot ETF. And in similar fashion, Canary Capital filed an S1 with the SEC for an XRP ETF. It's even quite impressive because Grayscale is now filing to convert their trusts into a digital large cap fund, which would contain Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and AVAX, and it would all be in the form of an ETF. But enough from me. Let's hear from Brad Garlinghouse and what he thinks about this whole situation surrounding institutional adoption.
Let's talk XRP ETFs, because I think we were all surprised. Multiple XRP ETF filings, Bitwise, I believe Canary funds. What is your take on the market demand for this product?
Well, I was surprised by timing, but not surprised by the outcome. I think when the Bitcoin ETF came out in January, I said very publicly, like, it's just a matter of time that you'll see ETH ETFs, you'll see Solana ETFs, you'll see XRP ETFs. And I think that will continue to happen. In fact, I think it was just yesterday, the Grayscale ETF filing is a basket, which is also, just to pat myself on the back. I said there'd be baskets. Right. And to me, it's just because that's what investors want.
Yeah.
That's what, frankly, some of the advice I give my closest friends when they are interested in investing in crypto, the advice I give them is look, take a basket approach. Buy the top 5, buy the, whatever you think the right framework is. So I think Grayscale's product is a great one. I think there is demand there. And I think that's going to bring more capital into the XRP ecosystem, more capital into crypto. I think we've seen $19 billion come into the Bitcoin ETF. That's good. And I think there will be more in the future.
And so with all of these positive developments surrounding institutional adoption and the likelihood of an XRP ETF being in the horizon, I think a lot of people, and this is the mistake they're going to make, is they're going to get impatient. They're going to sell their XRP bag that they've been holding for a while because they've been expecting a breakout, and they see this long downtrend on XRP, and they have not yet had the breakout above this range. Then they go ahead and sell their XRP token to go chase another crypto that is moving and trending up, only to watch that the XRP starts to break out and move while the one that they bought had already made its major move. This is a mistake that I've made. I've seen countless others make. And so I don't want a lot of XRP holders and people in the community that really believe in this product and this project and the XRP token to go and sell their bag and chase something else. So will the trajectory look something like this? Well, I will say typically in a bull market scenario, and it seems we are in one right now, we get some major moves and breakouts into highs for the end of the year. And already we're seeing that happen for Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin typically leads the market, especially with all these institutional inflows in their ETF. And then everything else has room to follow. A rising tide raises all ships. Well, very recently, as you can see here, the volume on Bitcoin exploded. It was almost like 3 to 4 times the previous week, this week right here. And it's right into this range or this downtrend. So we are touching the top of the range, and a break above here is highly likely to take Bitcoin to new all-time highs, which again provides for a very positive and bullish environment for all of crypto. And as you can see here, we saw a load of support at $60,000, which provided the confidence for investors to really get behind this move. So I think institutions are not only going to adopt that, but they're also going to start diving and pouring into other major market cap cryptos like XRP, especially because it has yet to move. And so this was the message in my video from yesterday. I think virtually overnight you're going to see a major move that breaks above this 64-cent range, targets that 74-cent range, and because it's above this downtrend and we're really starting to break out, I think it's going to start moving violently, and XRP typically does that. I think we're going to see a move right up here. Now when you come to a weekly time frame and you pull up the volume, you can see that we've consistently been declining. So what I'm looking for is a breakout with some volume to confirm it through the end of the year right here. And again, if Bitcoin starts to move, I think XRP is going to have a lot of room to move as well. Then when you look at the 200 EMA, you can see that we typically hang out either above the EMA or below. At one point in time, we sold off below the EMA for a resistance. And then when we broke above, we actually were supported at that EMA. And now this is a 200-week moving average. We did have a, relatively long-term bear trap when you really think about it. This is a series or a period of weeks, but now we are being supported above this EMA. So from a perspective of the time frame, from the perspective of price action, from the perspective that we're holding this 200 EMA on a weekly time frame, and we're getting very close to breaking out right here at the 64 to 6 cents range. I think when that happens, people are going to get really pissed off that they didn't start accumulating more XRP. And so with that said, if you want to learn how to do technical analysis or even fundamental analysis and become a crypto millionaire, go ahead and go to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description or the bio of this video, as well as the very first pinned post directly from the Bull Runners. Make sure it's the pinned post from us, because if it's not, you could likely get scanned. We just have so many people commenting there all the time, and people can click the wrong link. So make sure it is the pinned comment. But that said, you can join join our early bird list for exclusive altcoin picks, market analysis, and early access to our very new crypto education inner circle, which we've been really working on. And it's an entire platform. So we're excited to launch this thing very soon. And yes, early birds will get some exclusive deals and access. So make sure that you do that sooner rather than later, because we might limit it to the first X amount of people. We're currently in talks because we can't service too many people, especially if it's a private community or a group where we're really trying to service our customers. So at the end of the day, if we limit it to 1,000 people, 500 people, I'm not too sure. But go to bullrunners.com. The sooner you subscribe, the better. Thanks so much for watching the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, my friend. Goodbye.